Beneath tall mountains, sharp and steep, where ancient rivers wander deep, we set our course through mist and pine, a realm where sea and silence twine. The channels twist, the waters hide, a secret carved by glaciers stride. Each turn unveils a world unknown, a wilderness that stands entirely alone. And in today's film we'll glide through sheltered coves on the ocean's tide, to trace the paths where wild winds cool. And feel the stillness wrap it all. So come aboard, subscribe and see a voyage lost in mystery. Let waves and wonder be your guide. Sail with us where the adventure resides.
I'll have that.
It's picking up a lot.
Yeah.
This is just absolutely astonishing. Wish you could be here. It smells like salty sea spray and pine forests. And as we've come round into the inlet, the wind has backed and we've ended up having to pull out the other head sail just because it's a bigger surface area. And it's just pulling us along. And it's just, oh, I've dreamt of this. Last night I was kept awake for an hour because I couldn't stop sniffing the air, but the forest is just intoxicating. I wish you could smell it. I wish I could bottle it up and send you a bottle of the smell right now. It's so fresh and zesty and oceany and oh, I love it. Anyway, we're just going up this beautiful inlet. There's mountains at the end with snow on them. We're on our boat. Oh, I just want this day to never end, really. Beans on toast. Look at that. Okay, down there is the Shukumuk Narrows, and it's the world's fastest rapids. So on Navionics it says dangerous rapids and current. The difference in water levels on either side of the rapids can exceed 2 meters in height. Current speeds can exceed 16 knots, up to 17.68 knots. Wild. And that's just there, like a mile away.
Despite losing the wind around the Narrows, we soon found it and were pushed across the final 5 nautical miles to the Harmony Island, where we would be tucking up for the night.
This is pretty glorious at the moment. There's not really any sea state because we're so protected in here, and there's no way that open ocean stuff could get in here, and it's like 15 knots on our beam, so we're hammering along.
Pretty phenomenal, isn't it?
It's a pretty special place. It's kind of amazing. Oh, no idea, are there? Oh, there's one there. Legend, thank you.
The wind's pulled me back the other way. It took a long time for the sun to come up over the hills here this morning, but there's something about waiting for that that makes it extra special when you do see that sunshine beating down on the boat. And I looked out back this morning and I remembered in the sandblast the last time we stern tied that there were palm trees and white sandy beaches, and it makes you realise kind of how far cruising can take you and how much the scenery can change. And even Teak being there and the arch and the hydrovane, it's all changed. And you know, it's all about to change again, and it seems a good moment to just soak it all in right now, right then. Whatever you're doing in life, just stop and breathe it in and just realise that it's so fleeting. But the water's 24 degrees, which is crazy. 25 degrees sounds really hot because in the sun it is hot.
It is really hot, get in.
But in the water, it's like a cool swimming pool.
It's perfect.
It's so pretty, look at that water. And you can see the ledge where it's shallow and then...
The drop.
After a good swim, it was time to reflect on yesterday's stern tying, as I think it's really good to learn from experiences, even when it's past the actual event. So it's a pretty narrow inlet here, island here, mainland here, a 2-knot current coming through here, and wind 15 knots this way. So we naturally dropped anchor pretty much about here. Well, how do I draw an anchor? I thought I'd be able to do that.
Yeah, there we go. You just draw like an old school one like this, couldn't you?
Help me.
Like,
Draw on here.
you pretty much had that right.
That was a big anchor.
And you want like those bits on it, don't you? And then like it's got like that.
Okay, yeah, sure. Big anchor in the middle. Okay.
You can drop a bit smaller than that.
That's fine. So we initially had anchor dropped here, paid the chain out, and the boat basically ended up like that, okay? We had the correct ratio of chain out for the depth, which was pretty deep. It was about 16 meters depth. So we paid out and set the anchor. So we backed up on it and it was all set and perfect. So then we're like, great, all we need to do now is get Zach in the dinghy like this, and he'll just take a line to shore to one of these D-rings. I won't have to use the engine because we don't want to risk the line getting stuck in the prop because it's not a floating line, which a lot of people do have around here. We don't. So we thought, easy, Zach will just tow the boat with the 15 horsepower. It'll be plenty strong enough to tow it round. Wrong. It wasn't strong enough. So what was happening was Zach was starting to get towed back and or the boat just wasn't moving.
I think it probably would have been strong enough, but you've got to hold on to all of that weight while steering. And it's if there was another person in the dinghy, it might have been easier, but one person holding and steering is not easy.
Do you think it would have been easy if you had tied it to a tow ring on the dinghy? Like to one of the eyes on the dinghy?
Maybe, but then I was just trying to keep out of the prop and everything like that, and the boat would have all been weird and everything like that. Maybe backing up with it, but then I would have to hop out with it under load, and I don't know, it would have been weird.
Yeah. So we quickly realised that that wasn't going to work. So the next thing was Zach made the line longer and Zach went to land. Let me move the dinghy to land with the long line. And he tried pulling through the D-ring then. Okay, that also didn't work. There was no way he could pull a 13-ton boat against 2 knots of current and 15 knots of wind beam on. Didn't work. So then Zach's saying to me, you have to figure this out and you have to get the butt of the boat, the stern of the boat, to here. So I think, okay, great, I do this all the time on anchor. So all I do is I hard lock to starboard and I give it some revs and I squeeze it backwards and forwards because it works a lot better if you don't just give it constant throttle. Boats tend to maneuver a little bit better, at least ours does. And what happens is I get the boat to about, actually I pull back on the chain and I get the boat to here. And Zach pulls in some line and all seems okay. However, then, let me change this, we just cannot get it closer. I cannot get it further round. So I'm constantly trying to back up and turn it around, and what starts to happen is the boat starts going this way. So I'm hard locked to starboard, so I'm hard locked this way, and our boat starts going this way every time. And it feels like something's wrapping the rudder. Like I don't have much steerage, and I was very aware of this boat. I was about a boat's length from this boat. So I'm thinking, what the heck is happening? Why can't I give it some oomph that way? Zach pulls in the line and we're straight. What was happening, which I didn't realise because I haven't done this before, is this chain was very taut. We were dug, we were holding. So what was happening is you have to be going backwards with water over the rudder to get steerage backwards. I wasn't going backwards at all because the chain was so tight. So after about 10-15 minutes of trying to figure out why I just could not manoeuvre any more this way, and actually I was ending up going this way, Zach suggested bringing the boat forwards on the anchor chain and actually aiming the bow about here. So what I was then doing was the chain was out here, I could get the bow in here. What was then happening is the chain was slack. Zach could then wait for the boat to kind of snap around into the wind and current and pull it in. And so what eventually happened is we did that kind of manoeuvre a few times, butted the bow all the way into the shallows here, and eventually with the bow in we could then end up with the stern here and the chain there, and then we tied the line in tight. So you know, you always see these kind of instructional manuals of someone just dropping the anchor, pay, boat is here, someone calmly hops out, goes to shore with a line. In reality, with current and wind and external forces on the boat and a tight anchor chain, that just doesn't work. So I will say when I started pulling around, I did let out more chain and that did help a lot. My worry was if I let out too much chain, the bow would then go with the wind and current and get too close to this boat. So there was a few factors at play. But we figured it out, and actually the guy on this boat said that was really smart to get the bow in. It wasn't the most conventional way, but sometimes, a lot of times in sailing, things don't work the way you initially thought. So by just experimenting, that was all we could do, and actually it worked really great. So yeah, it's just a quick learning exercise, is that if what you're doing isn't working, kind of stop, reassess, and you can try different ways. And for us, that was the way that worked. So I just wanted to show you that, because it's interesting to do it in a calm environment where you have the time to reflect and go over things like that.
The two legends from yesterday, the ones who showed us the D-rings on shore, insisted we couldn't leave without trying the local oysters for the first time. Now, oysters and other shellfish are filter feeders, which means you have to be cautious about where and when you're gathering them. The main concern is something called red tide. There's an art to opening it very delicately. A toxic algae bloom. Get it wrong and you risk shellfish poisoning, which can be serious and even permanent. Thankfully, with Environmental Canada's online safety maps and a bit of reassurance from our local guide, who've already tested the waters, we felt confident it was safe to give them a try.
I might do them with some butter or something like that as well.
We're going to have to come back next summer when I'm not pregnant.
Yeah. We could pickle some and take them back to the UK for you.
Could you imagine? A successful evening shocking oysters.
Whole bunch of oysters.
That is amazing. How fun.
I know, right? So many in there. Nice amount for me. Becca's not eating any because she's, well, we don't want her to eat any because she's pregnant at the moment, obviously.
Look at those oysters.
Joy.
How are they? Have you tried them?
Hot. We are on our way at the moment to Frail's Fall, which is just up there. But we just stopped by a really nice family who follows us on No Foreign Land.
But they were really nice. They were from, he was...
Seattle area originally, but he's originally from Doncaster?
No, Dorset.
He's from Dorset originally, which is not too far away from where we are, so yeah, really sweet family.
Yeah, right, let's go find some falls up here somewhere.
Yeah. Oh wow, this looks like looks like something from a fairy tale. Look at this.
Look at this tree throwing down the side of this stump. Wow.
It looks like a throne.
Wow, this is the coolest waterfall I've been to ever. I'm gonna step in it.
It's nice.
That's warm. That's not cold.
No, it's really good.
special place this has been. Up the Jervis Inlet today, 29 miles. I'm hoping the wind's going to be behind us, gusting about 20 knots. Well, at least that's what the forecast said. So sometimes in the kind of steep fjords it can do all sorts of things. It can die, it can accelerate, it can weave, it can back, it can veer. I'm going to ease this because we're going to have to go round. Wow, that's cool.
Perfect. 4.4 knots. Woohoo! Yeah.
That's cool. Woo! This is cool. This is really cool.
This is one of the best spinnaker sails we've had.
Most scenic for sure. This is so nice.
5 knots in 10 knots of wind.
Yeah, this is great. This is what it's all about.
Woohoo! Yeah.
As we got deeper into the inlet, the wind began to pick up. Yeah, fully off?
Yeah.
So we doused the spinnaker and set up our favourite sail plan, wing on wing. Downwind sailing is my favourite normally, let alone when we're sailing through fjords of pine trees and mountains. This is just out of this world. Woo! Absolutely awesome.
This has been the best sail we've had. This is the best weather I had for all of the trip up here. I didn't have weather like this because flat, calm seas, 20 knots of wind behind us is perfect. I can't even think the last time we had a sail that was this nice. Can you think?
And a good cup of tea.
And a good tea and a really nice homemade brownie that someone gave us yesterday, which was phenomenal. It's pushing 30 knots at the moment, hence why we've got our life jackets on now. And we've got everything's fully reefed, our head sail's fully reefed and the main's fully reefed, and we're still sitting at like high 6s, 7s. Also, we've got a bit of current with us obviously, but we are flying along still.
And it doesn't look like it on camera, but there is a bit of a following sea now.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's just fetch, but...
Yeah. But the wind is definitely picking up, and around some of the headlands here it's whipping, so...
Yeah, nice.
Get there in no time.
We are just approaching Malibu Rapids now. As you can tell, it's really windy. Hopefully you can hear me. But yeah, we've picked quite the day for it. It's been a fun sail and it's still blowing a hoolie out here. But I'm about to Securite radio in to alert people we're going through because there's only room for one boat and you don't want to meet someone coming the other way. So let's do it. Securite, This is sailing yacht Tay-Lee, a 40-foot boat, entering Malibu Rapids northbound. Over. Beautiful, that's exactly what we wanted.
As there is no local tide station, you have to do a few timing calculations to pick the slack. We have timed it correctly as the water is calm for us. However, get it wrong and this otherwise flat water becomes some rapids, which you would be hard pushed to transit in a sailing boat.
Wow, we did it. That was
That's
great.
pretty tight through there.
Yeah.
That'd be fun as a big boat.
Whoa, look at this place. It's like we've entered a new world. We're just coming into the view of the falls now. We can hear eagles. The smell of forest is so intoxicatingly strong, and we decided we're going to anchor and stern tie as close to the falls as we can get, which is going to be awesome. Oh my gosh, this place is magical. 10 out of 10 recommend coming here. It's been on our bucket list for about a year and a half, and yeah, you wonder why. Okay, Zach is just going to, he's going to suss out, there should be a third mooring somewhere. We can't see it though, so hopefully we're in a good depth. We're in 17 meters on the screen, so 18, 19 meters, 22 maybe. But we're hoping we can drop here and then we can run it to shore, but we just can't find the ring, so. The plan then, Stan?
There's a eye on this submerged rock here that I have to jump in to go and find. So we're gonna go and drop somewhere around here and do it. I think that's why I put other people off coming here, but it's perfect for us.
It is.
So if we go out kind of where they are somewhere and then drop back.
Yeah, perfect. That went so smoothly. Okay, so the tide's only got a metre more to come in. So say we were in 15 metres right now.
Yeah.
15 times 2 plus 14. We got 55 out, so we can pull in some chain then.
Yeah, okay.
But I'll pull in some up there and you tell me when it's tight there.
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't want to pull too hard on the stern lines.
Yeah.
We don't need to. I know by now we probably sound like broken records, but this place... Okay, I'm going to stop talking and just let you soak it in, as if you're an eagle soaring through this wonderful fjord. Hey, what are we doing tonight?
We are cooking at the campsite because why not? It'd be actually nice to cook out here for a change and cook off the boat. So got a little camping stove and a few ingredients, and we're going to make a
Chili, mole chili.
mole chili.
That's enough. I'll try.
Yeah, it is.
The one thing Becca and I try to do is treat every day as an adventure. Sometimes that means chasing something out of the ordinary. Other times it's simply finding wonder in the smallest of moments. It's a way of living we hope you'll join us in. And next week will be no exception. Becca will be sharing a raw, real experience of what it's like to be pregnant on a boat. We can't wait to see you then.
Oh, the seas are becoming pretty big actually. How safe it is to be pregnant on a boat. And this is a great question.